Hey, it's Andrew Huang. One of the most common questions that I get is about how to start a song or where to start a song. You know, chords, melody, lyrics, and really there's no right answer. A lot of different starting points can be great. I've started songs from just an interesting title or like a weird sound that a gas station pump was making. Each starting point has something unique to offer, and I thought I would make this video to cover 5 of what I think are probably the most common starting points for a song, which are melody, chords, a beat, an interesting sound, and lyrics. They say the best way to learn is by doing. I think the best way to teach is also by doing. So I really don't have much planned here today, except I'm gonna try and start 5 songs, one from each of these starting points, and kind of walk you through what my process is like with each of them. Good luck to me. Starting a song with drums is an interesting one because you get a lot of energy, but not a lot of identity. Let me show you what I mean. So we've got this drum loop, and this can take on pretty much any emotion. It's entirely dependent on what pitched material you add to it first. So starting with drums is super fun, and it firmly defines the tempo of your piece as well as giving some sense of its intensity, but it's really the next thing that you add that you have to be really deliberate about, because that will probably do more to set the direction. And probably the most natural things to add onto a drum beat next are a chord progression or a bass line. There are lots of ways to come up with chord progressions, but I'll just start with a few. First of all, you could take a chord progression that you already know, like we've all heard this. A million songs use that. You can also use that. You could also mess with it a bit though and see if that inspires you, like changing the order of the chords. What if we just play what I just played backwards? Kind of cheesy, but there is a seed there. We could slow it down. Singing gibberish is a huge part of the process. Another fun thing to do is just a random number generator. Google has one even. So you can set a minimum and a maximum, and I use 1 and 6 to match up with the first 6 chords of a major key. So for instance, in C major, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's generate 4 right now and see how it sounds. Two, 6, 2, 6. Let's run with it. Yeah, I feel something vibey here. And I'm on and now. Na 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 na. Oh, and na 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 and na 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 na. This is like a dark R&B thing that we can play with. Let's make this into something. Before I jump into doing some production though, let's just talk about what happened here. The chords guide the melody in this case. You know, I already have some little bit of vibe established from playing just these 2 chords, vocally experimenting and seeing what feels good on top of them. And you know, I'm not thinking of what notes I'm singing. I could if I wanted to, you know, I have the ear for that. I have the music theory for that, but really I'm just letting it kind of come out and trying not to get in the way intellectually. Well, that's the start of something cool. That's starting with a chord progression and going from there. Let's move on. Just a quick sponsored message. Today I'm using the TMA2 Wireless Plus headphones from III. These are super low latency wireless headphones. They do not use Bluetooth. It's a better technology than Bluetooth. It has much lower latency than Bluetooth. You can barely notice it. It's so close to real time. So it's amazing for producing, mixing. I really like in sessions like today where I'm kind of hopping around between different stations in my studio. I'm on the drum kit, I'm over at the computer on the synth. I don't have to worry about a cable. I don't have to take my headphones on and off. I can just stay completely in the flow creating. Another cool thing about the TMA2 line is that they're committed to sustainability, and these headphones are completely modular. So you can take them apart. There's the headband, the cable that you want if you go with the non-wireless version, and even the speakers and the cushions. All of these things you can customize for the headset that you want, but also if any part of them happens to get damaged, you can just replace that one part rather than having to buy all new headphones. Right now we're running a giveaway for a pair of these on my Instagram, so head over there if you want details on that, or if you want to buy a pair, you can get a free hard case right now if you use the code AndrewHuang when you check out. I think that's just on for a limited time, so definitely hit that up if you're interested in ultra low latency wireless headphones. I highly recommend them. Starting a song from a melody is one of my favorite things because there's so much room to play with its emotional resonance once you start adding chords underneath it. And I would say when you're starting with a melody, chords are just the next thing to do 99% of the time. I don't know any songwriters who are like, sweet, I got my melody, time to find a snare sound. So previously we had a chord progression that we used to inspire a melody, and now we're gonna do the opposite. We're gonna come up with a melody and use that to inspire a chord progression. I'm actually just gonna go on Twitter and ask for people to send notes, and then we'll find little chunks and use those as our melody. Partially just to show you that I do not have a pre-planned melody to do this with, but also because I think it'll be fun. Need to get a nice smile emoji on the end of that. And also, yeah, I use the browser version of Twitter because it's worse than the app, and that makes me want to use Twitter less, which has saved me hours of my life, maybe days. Boop! Let's see what comes in.
A few minutes later.
I hope this is clear enough on the top-down camera. Oh, throw me an E sharp, so that's an F, F, G, E, B half flat. Get out of here. Let's go up a bit. A flat, A flat. We got 3 A flats in a row, and then a B and an E flat. What's that? Ooh. Maybe it's a pickup? Na 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 na. 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 Yeah. Whoa. Na na. Oh. Na. No. No. Da 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 da. Oh wait. Yeah, let's go down to that. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Maybe that third chord we could turn major. Na, na. Basically, the formula here is see what the main notes the melodies are hanging on and what are the main chords that could fit underneath it. You know, each basic chord has 3 notes in it. So, you know, if your melody's got a G, that could be the 1 of G major, the 1 of G minor, the 5th of C major, or the 5th of C minor, and the 3rd of E minor, or the 3rd of E flat major. That's not even getting into like seconds, sevenths. So it's not a strict rule at all. Nothing in music is, but if you're starting from a melody, if you've been humming something, or you have something in your head that you've come up with, or you've asked people to tweet musical notes at you, pretty much the next thing that I would do is always the chords. Just saying. Listen to this. Sometimes it's better than others. So when I'm trying to keep my coffee or tea warm, I have this lid that goes on top. It's very fancy technology. I was trying to think of a sound we could use for this, starting with a sound segment, and then I looked at my coffee and remembered that I have a bunch of recordings of this lid running through the H9000. This guy here, absolute beast of an effects processor. I've done a video on it before, and I have some recordings of running this lid through a bunch of its weird pitch shifting delays. I like how rhythmic that is. Let's tighten that up. What's this like at different speeds? Yeah, it's a nice groove. Let's bring out sort of this clap feeling part.
You better not doubt it. You can't win the blind, you can't deceive the blind. You'll just be dirt to the clown. So if I'm doomed to be damned, I'm going out with the bang. Carry my plans out, go back down. Cause if the choice is to hang like Marianne or burn like the coin, then I got the jerry can and I'm dousing.
Starting with a sound is probably the most open-ended of all these approaches because it has the least emotional baggage with it. You know, we've all heard so many different beats and chords and melodies, and we understand a lot of how they work, but sounds are just... Sampling allows you to do so much manipulation with them too that you can disguise things or transform them and end up with something that sounds very different from what it started as. So it's a very experimental starting point, and in this case led to a beat where I think in other cases, you know, it could have led to some kind of effects-laden drop. A lot of times it's just vibe. It's like a textured layer that's part of the song, not necessarily contributing something foundational, but that really sets a mood. And you don't have to do this with sampling either, you know, dialing in a certain guitar tone can inspire what you play, or you know, doing some sound design on a synth, that can lead to a lot of interesting places. The last thing that we gotta touch on though, that I've been kind of dreading, is starting with lyrics. Okay, I lied at the start of the video. I didn't start all 5 songs in one day because now it is a new day. I just got into mixing some of those tracks and I was procrastinating on this lyrics section because lyrics are always such a challenge for me. Once I get rolling with it, I do enjoy it, but I do find that every time I'm kind of like hitting against a wall for a while before I break through and get to that flow point. Whereas, I don't know, with music, it's just so much easier for me to just go. Anyway, let's talk about starting a song from lyrics. I will say when you start a song from lyrics, you will move pretty quickly into some music writing aspect of it because it's so important how the words fit with the music. It's really rare that you'll write an entire song, just the words, and then set it to music. I'm sure it does happen, but that is super rare for me, or if I do it that way, I'll need to tweak a lot of the words to fit the melody that I end up coming up with. But it is really cool starting with lyrics because the way that you phrase things can often inspire how you're gonna sing them, so it's kind of a different way to come up with melodies. One of the main ways that new lyrics come into my world is just by being attuned to the sensation of inspiration as life is unfolding. And it's not usually inspiration like bolt of lightning, oh my gosh, amazing idea. It's just this sense of something being interesting, you know, in conversation with a friend, they'll say something in a bit of an interesting way, or you're observing a situation and you just feel like there's some dramatic irony here, or there's an image in front of me that is out of the ordinary, and this is something that I could take and write about. And then anytime I get one of these sparks of inspiration, I write it down immediately, usually on my phone, but I use the Evernote app so that it syncs to my desktop as well, so I can access my writing wherever I am. And well, let's just go through some random jottings that I have, and maybe I'll pick one to start a song with here so you can see what this process is like. I came to LA with both my middle fingers up. Cool starting line. Perched on the Space Needle. An interesting image. Maybe I wrote that while I was in Seattle on tour. He left a bit of brain on the pavement. I don't know what that was about, but very strong image. That's a song. I'm a skeleton, laugh crying in my office chair. Some song about the 9-to-5 grind, maybe. Goodbye ceiling, hello clouds. They're not all winners. I also want to show you some different ways that you can start writing lyrics other than just happening to come across an idea as you're out living your life. One of my favorite methods lately is something I got from Jeff Tweedy. I think he calls it a word ladder or something like that. It's in his awesome book about songwriting. And you just write 2 lists. You think of 2 topics or themes, and then you come up with 10 words for each of them. Just any words that are related to them. So let's say we pick, I'm gonna look around the room, plant and shoes. These are my 2 topics. My song is not gonna be about either of these things, probably, but we're gonna write 10 words that have to do somehow with both of these topics, and then by putting them together, we're gonna create amazing poetry. Let's see, plants. Green, grow, leaf, flower, dirt, air, sun, garden, thorn, life. All right, shoes. Lace, feet, sole, tie, walk, style, soft, lining, run. Actually kind of struggling with like shoe words. Maybe tongue? Tongue is a part of a shoe. All right, so we've got our 20 words, and now we're gonna take one from each side and smash them together and see what happens. I'm just amazed how often it's like fun and magical and very lyrical. Like flower tongue. What is a flower tongue? Definitely an interesting image. We could talk about the sun lining something. It's not the usual way you describe sunlight, and so that makes it interesting. The sun lining the ground, the sun lining your eyes. What about green lace? I'm not thinking of shoelaces anymore, I'm thinking of some kind of lacy clothing. A garden made of lace, very cool image. Another thing that starts to happen often as you play with words is that you replace things sometimes with homonyms. Is that the, things that sound the same? So like leaf could be leave, this soul could be soul, air, sun. So we're just generating all this raw material that we can respond to rather than having this blank page and thinking like, okay, I've got to come up with complete, perfect, beautiful lines and be able to sing them and have them mean something. Even like less fluffy stuff, forget about a garden of lace. You could just say, I was running through the dirt. Very normal, natural line to come up with. I don't know if I would have come up with it if I was just thinking of running. Maybe having plants here is what got me there. So when you're starting with lyrics, I think there's 3 main places to go, which is a really great line, and probably that would be like the hook of the song or the opening line. Those are good places to focus on. It could be a title or it could be a concept. Sometimes title and concept overlap, but those are things that often set in motion the rest of your lyric writing. So from these lists, let's try and come up with an example of each one. For an opening line, I'd maybe go with that, I was running through the dirt, or whatever it was that I just said. I've been running through the dirt. Maybe something like that is an interesting way to open up a song. For a title, what about green lace? What if that song is about a dress that somebody wore on a special day? This makes me think this song will be about memories you have of someone who is important to you. And that is also a little bit concept-y. Like I said, titles and concepts often go together. But let's see if we can come up with just a concept, not necessarily a title, but a frame, a little capsule of what this song will be about or say. How about leaving softly? I don't think leave softly or leaving softly is a good title, but the idea of something needing to come to an end and, wanting to be gentle about it, wanting it to not hurt somebody, or maybe it's about sneakily or secretly getting away from a situation. I think there's inspiration to be found there. So why don't we bust out the guitar now and start singing stuff. I mean, that's kind of what I was mentioning earlier. You go so quickly to the music side of things if you start with lyrics, or I do anyway, because you just want to see how it's gonna fit, and that informs what you're gonna write next. I've been running through the dirt, in the dirt, through the dirt. I've been running through the dirt. Fighting to get to you. maybe you've heard. It's what I deserve. A little faster, maybe. I've been running through the dirt. Oh, fighting to get to you. Get to you. Oh, I mean, that's the start of something. So now I want to be thinking of what am I writing about? Why am I running? Who am I running to? Am I running to an actual person, or is this a place in my life that I want to be when I refer to you? Trying to get to you. Fighting to get to you, actually, I like that. Now at this point, I'm kind of coming up with lyrics and melodies in tandem, so I could continue and just write melodically and then see what words could fit with that, or I could try and write out some more words and then see how I would sing them. You know what, just for fun, let me show you another thing. Sometimes when you have words already and you're trying to find a melody for them, just saying them in a rhythm with no notes can be an interesting way to start, and then you find a melody to go with that rhythm. So I've been saying, I've been running through the dirt. But what if we change the cadence of that and it's like, I've been running through the dirt. I've been running through the dirt. Try it another rhythm. I've been running through the dirt. I've been running through the dirt. Feels kind of Taylor Swifty for some reason. I've been running through the dirt. Whoa, I've been running through the... I don't think it fits with the lyrics, but there we go. A whole new melody. I've been running through the dark, searching for a spark that's true. This feeling, it's tearing me apart. I'm looking to the stars for you. I know you'll find me. You always end up beside me. And all I need is you. All I need is you. And in this darkness, when I feel you're the farthest, still all I need is you. All I need is you. Been searching for you all my life. Just trying to make it through the night, but I'm still running through the dark. And that's starting with lyrics. I'm sorry that I didn't document more of the continuation of that writing process. What happened is it was time for dinner with the family, and I put the baby to bed, and the whole time I was thinking of new lyric ideas and melodies, and so I kind of came back to the studio now having finished that verse, pre-chorus, and chorus, at least the lyrics and the melody, and I've just been going hard on the production. But I can tell you how it came together. So I switched the word dirt for dark, and then that just conjured up a whole bunch more feelings and images and a lot more rhyme ideas. And so I kind of went with that, and also the idea of the you that I'm singing to in this song is not an actual person, but it's more like meaning or purpose in life that I'm singing to. And you know how that kind of comes in and out, drifts in and out of your life, or at least that's how I feel. And, in between, you just have all of these existential crises, right? That's how life works. So that was sort of the focal point around which I wrote the rest of the song. And, I hope you enjoy it. Let me know how you like any of the stuff that I created today. And, the favorites I'll probably finish at some point or other. If you're interested in learning more about how I write and produce so quickly, I've got a 30-day online class at monthly.com/Andrew that you can take. It's fully pre-recorded lessons, so it doesn't matter where in the world you are, and it covers everything. How I come up with my ideas and flesh them out, all my music production tricks, mixing and mastering, and even if you've never made music before, there are some bonus beginner lessons that'll get you up to speed with what I'm doing. So yeah, check it out, monthly.com/Andrew. Also remember to enter the headphone giveaway. That's on my Instagram at AndrewsMusic. Find the post with these headphones for more details on how to enter. Thank you again to III for sponsoring, and these Wireless Plus headphones are great. I'm sure you're gonna see me using them a lot. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Love to hear your comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Nice.